Hello everyone and welcome back to another game coverage from the 2018 Isle of Man International Chess Tournament. Radoslaw, Wojtaszek and Arkadij Naiditsch were joint leaders of the tournament with 6.5 points heading into the last round of the Isle of Man, and they played each other in a classical game and drew. Now there were 4 other players just behind on 6 points heading into this round, but none of them managed to win their games. So Wojtaszek and Naiditsch had to decide matters in a blitz match. In the first game, Wojtaszek won despite having a worse position throughout most of the game. In the second game, Naiditsch had a huge advantage out of the opening. Wojtaszek somehow managed to survive till the end game, but Naiditsch managed to get the job done and secured the win. So with a score of 1-all, we now have an Armageddon game where White has 5 minutes to Black's 4. But here's the catch. White has to go for a win. If the game is drawn, then Black wins the tie breaks. Also for this game, there was no time increment till the 60th move, where both players would then get a 2-second increment for each move. Wojtaszek with the white pieces in this game, so he has to play for a win. He opens with d4. Now since this is a blitz game, I won't be going too deep into the analysis. Naiditsch responds with knight to f6, we have c4 and g6. Naiditsch goes for the king's Indian defense, which seems like an odd choice if one wants to play for a draw. Knight f3. From Wojtaszek, bishop g7 and g3. Very solid way to play this. Black castles, Wojtaszek fianchettos his bishop, d6. White castles, knight b to d7, knight c3 and e5, striking in the center. And here e4 from Wojtaszek. Rook to e8. Bishop e3, so pretty standard moves, both sides develop. And c6, just controlling this d5 square. h3 from Wojtaszek, always a useful move, stopping any knight to g4 ideas. Black goes a5, stopping white from expanding on the queen side, and also maybe helping to secure a knight on c5 in the future. d5 from Wojtaszek. White now closes the center, but this does give Black the c5 square for his knight, which he occupies immediately. Knight d2 from Wojtaszek, just defending this e4 pawn, also with the bishop. C takes d5, we have c takes d5 and b6, just solidifying the knight. Now Wojtaszek decides that it's time to do something, to start something against these backward pawns on d6 and b6. He plays a4, just supporting a knight to b5 to pressure b6. Also, this knight can come into c4 with pressure on both of these pawns. So a4 first is important because if Wojtaszek goes knight to b5, then Black can play a4. And this knight can be kicked away immediately with move like bishop to a6. So here after a4, Naiditsch goes bishop to a6, knight b5, queen to d7, trying to eliminate this pesky knight. But Wojtaszek just plays knight to c4, threatening to take on b6. We have bishop takes, a takes, rook to b8, defending. So here if queen takes, then knight takes d6, forks queen and the rook. So after rook a b8, Wojtaszek now plays bishop takes c5, which gives him a nice pass pawn regardless of how Black recaptures. So Naiditsch decides to take with the d-pawn, and this knight on c4 is a wonderful piece for white. Not only does it blockade Black's pawn, but it also controls this d6 square, which makes a pawn advancement in the future possible for white. Queen a4 from Wojtaszek, just protecting b5. And h5 from Naiditsch. It's hard for Black to come up with a concrete plan here. Wojtaszek plays h4, just stopping any h4 from Black. Bishop h6. Rook a d1 from Wojtaszek, supporting this nice passed d-pawn. And what does black actually do here? White has a very simple plan of trying to achieve an f4 break. Naiditsch gets tired of waiting and he lashes out with g5. So that is taken, but this does weaken the black king. Now queen b3 from Wojtaszek, a very nice move. Still defending b5 but keeping his options open. This queen can always swing across to the king's side if needed. King g7, and now Wojtaszek decides that it's time to break. f4. He takes f4 and bishop to h6. e5 from Wojtaszek. White just has a beautiful position because of his space advantage and especially with these nice central pawns. Knight g4 and queen to h3 from Radoslaw. Just looking at h5. Rook h8 from Naiditsch, so you got to be a bit careful. Don't take on h5 because then bishop takes f4 and the queen is actually trapped. So Wojtaszek of course saw that and now he uses his supreme space advantage to convert this game. f5, so the pawns start rolling. King f8, e6, queen to d8, and now f6. And look at these pawns go. Now threatening e7 check, winning the queen. Therefore knight takes f6. And d6, again threatening to play e7 with check. So we have f takes e6 and knight e5. So now white threatens to take on f6, followed by knight to d7, which would fork the king, queen, and the rook. Therefore king to g7, and here queen g3 check. Black has to block with the knight. Otherwise, if he tries king to h7, then simply queen g6 is mate. And if king to f8, then rook takes f6, the idea we discussed a little while earlier. And if queen takes f6, knight d7 forks everything. So after knight g4, knight takes, and here queen takes g4 would allow black to block with queen to g5. So Wojtaszek plays queen to e5 check, and black is now in a forced mating net. King g8, queen takes e6, king h7, bishop to e4 check, and Naiditsch resign. The next move is going to be mate. If king g7, then queen to g6 is checkmate. A nice game from Wojtaszek. So this victory means that Radoslaw Wojtaszek is now the winner of the 2018 Isle of Man International Chess Tournament. Kudos to both players for providing us with an exciting game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel for more future content. Thank you for watching and have a great day.